research by the UNESCO Institute for Statistics reveals that 1/3 of young teens across the globe experience bullying online. This includes harassment, denigration, cyberstalking, masquerade, and trolling. While connecting the world in a better way and democratizing information, the internet has also allowed individuals to hide behind masks of anonymity. This faceless evil of the internet is a growing threat when it comes to cyberbullying. Related statistics indicate that females are 3 times more likely to be bullied online than males. In India, 37% of parents report that their children have been cyberbullied at some point. Victims of cyberbullying are prone to depression, decreased self-esteem, and emotional distress. Studies indicate that they are twice as likely to engage in self-harming behavior and attempt suicide. The impacts of cyberbullying can be incredibly damaging, and the malicious behavior is likely to continue as it can be difficult to track anonymous bullies on the internet. Victims often become bullies themselves as a way to vent their frustration and anger, creating a vicious circle of harassment and hatred.
Cyberbullying is the repeated and willful use of digital technology to harass, threaten, embarrass, or target another person. Cyberbullies use cell phones, computers, and tablets. They use email, text messaging, social media apps, and gaming in their effort to humiliate their peers and other groups. The numerous psychological effects can be devastating to victims regardless of age, and it seems no one is immune to the kind of trauma it causes. However, because kids and teens are still learning to regulate their emotion and response to social interaction, they are particularly vulnerable and highly susceptible. Research showed that the most common reason for cyberbullying is a result of fractured personal relationships due to breakups or unresolved conflicts. Certain groups are especially vulnerable and frequently targeted. They include shy students, socially awkward, overweight kids, and the kids that come from low-income families.
It all happened the summer of the 8th grade when I decided to buy a webcam and started video calling strangers in the hope of making new friends. And surprisingly enough, I found one. His name was Don. He was very friendly and our call went on for hours. We found out that we had so much in common and we shared our contact numbers in the hope of texting more of one. We were so close that we finally started becoming more than friends, and 3 months into our relationship, he told me he required some sort of help and he required $100 from me, saying he needed to buy medicines for his mother. I sent them twice, but he needed more, and with the amount increasing each time, that's when all the things started going downhill. Then he started threatening me, saying that I send him the money within 4 days, or the photos which I sent him during the course of our relationship would go online. I didn't know what to do at that point. All the guilt weighing down on me, crushing me, suffocating me. I was scared to tell my parents, scared to tell my friends. I bottled it up inside me. And after 4 days, he again texted me with all the pictures. I was devastated. I knew I had to tell someone, and I told my mother. I knew I had done a mistake, a terrible mistake, but I was helpless on my own. The next few days, my family was in a frenzy that I alone created, and seeing them try to solve this even without knowing what I had get into. Then my mother contacted an uncle in our family who worked with the cyber police. They tracked him down only to find out I was not only the victim. I learned that the internet is a scary place, and although we think we know all the answers to everything, but we definitely don't, and there are adults who know better than us. When my parents used to lecture me about being safe online, I never used to listen to them, but looking back, I wish I could have listened and acted smarter. I am grateful that I was able to recover and I am much more educated than I was before. And yes, I think that I'm in a much better place now.
Lose some weight, you will never find a husband if you look like this. This is something I've heard practically my entire life. I was being so lonely thinking about the way I look, because who would want to become friends with a fatty? And it didn't even bother me until I made my own Facebook account and I started realizing that I was being the laughing stock at school. And I used to get some mean comments and text on my post, and they used to call me various names like cuff, pig and so on, and my photos was also used as an example on how one should eat healthy so that they wouldn't look like me. The people around me didn't even realize how much their words and actions hurted me so deeply that it affected my mental stage. And at the age of 17, I was diagnosed with a Cushing syndrome, which I could gain weight just by exposing to too much of stress. And I started believing that by going to starving myself, I could get a perfect body. So I went on starving myself. That is when my parents started noticing that how worse the situation was getting, and my mother was worried sick. All for what? Just to fit into the society's beauty standard. And it took me a while to realize how stupid I was being. Those bullies online would never be happy. Instead of pleasing those comments online, we should be comfortable in our own skin, and it is impossible to live up to their standards. Today I have some of the best friends ever that they would accept me for who I am. Although I got mean comments and texts occasionally, I used to focus only on the positive comments which encouraged me, and I would be an inspiration for all those who are loving their skin. I'd rather say that it is impossible to live up to their standards, and if someone is going to hate you for no reason, we have no control over them. So what matters is that you and those who love you should accept you for who you are.
My parents and people around me had always been supportive and to my decision of being a woman. As a child, I had always dreamt of being a radio jockey, and so when I grew up, it was a dream come true for me. As I started getting popular, my colleagues had encouraged me to start an Instagram account so that I could increase my following and thereby increase the rating of my radio show. At start, things were really smooth. I was so happy to see how people were so supportive and calling me an inspiration as a trans woman in this field. However, things started taking a turn. As my followers started increasing, I used to get all sort of comments saying how I wasn't a real woman and that I had some sort of mental illness. I used to get rape threats and death threats daily. It was a honest reflection how the society viewed me as an alien, and I used to believe in their cruel words. Finally, all these threats and comments broke me down totally. I was in a mental state that I had never been. I never thought I could save myself from all these drowning thoughts. However, my sister, my support system, helped me to get back on my feet. Although I faced online harassments, my success never stopped me from growing. This gave me the determination to work hard and disapprove all my haters. I didn't want to go back, and I wanted to be an inspiration to all the teen questioning their identity and their orientation. People are so cruel to others without even thinking. It seems like they forget, although I'm an influencer, still I'm a human being and insults affect me the way it affects others. My main takeaway is that although online platform is a cruel place, it is important to surround yourself with good people and give attention to people who encourage you instead of the people who hate you.
Technology and social media play an ever-present part in teens' lives, making them vulnerable to cyberbullying. However, there are a few things that teens can do to reduce their chances of getting bullied. And some tips are: educate yourself. To prevent cyberbullying from occurring, you must understand exactly what it is. Research what constitutes cyberbullying, how and where it occurs, and talk with your friends about what they are seeing and experiencing. Secondly, protect your password. Safeguard your password and all private information from inquisitive peers. Thirdly, pause before you post. Don't post anything that can compromise your reputation. People will judge you based on how you appear to them online, and bullies can use it as a fuel. Raise awareness. Bring awareness to cyberbullying, whether it be through a movement, a club, an event, or a campaign. Knowledge is power. Set up privacy controls. Restrict who can see your online profiles to only trusted friends. Never open messages from people you don't know. Delete all messages without reading them from people you don't know, as they could contain viruses and could infect your computer, and this may lead to cyberbullying.
Let's stand up against cyberbullying. Say no to cyberbullying.